Hello, this is Hudley Flipside with a little editorial here. Um, there was something that we used to know and back in the early punk scene as punk rock courtesy. It could be a handshake, a look, a knowing. You sat down and you figured things out together. Um, as you know, so much has changed. But what really kind of irritates me is that there's so much freedom now to copy things and just put them online, scan them and copy them without any consideration of that term, punk rock courtesy. And there's intellectual property rights and copyrights, but it really comes down to courtesy. Uh, Anytime something from Flipside is printed without a tag or a reference or original source, yeah, it ticks me off. I just think that's just common sense. That's courtesy. That's what I do for everything that I post. I always reference source. Um, but recently, on some site on Facebook for flyers from the 70s and 80s, someone just posted a scanned copy of an early Flipside. Um, they did reference in the post, they didn't tag it, that it was Flipside, of course, but that made me feel real uncomfortable. I understand the copy or maybe an image, or if a band is taking something from Flipside and putting it up, there's a strong connection there. And I respect that. But, you know, it is a matter of courtesy for them to maybe ask me or someone from Flipside first before they do that. But in the course of history, I see to be the only one really standing up for Flipside and its source. Uh, I didn't know the person who did it. Uh, it just made me feel a little uncomfortable. So what I did is I just excluded myself from that page and I blocked that person. Not because I dislike the page or the person, but it stops me from overreacting uh, to their rudeness. And rudeness is an issue that is a subtle monster that lingers through the internet that I find. And one of my missions was to protect intellectual property rights for Flipside Fanzine because I see it dissected all over the internet, and I've written about this before. So it's my story is to kind of bring them all back into the corral and get the image of a narrative or a story about who created Flipside. It's just images or music or videos all dissected out in the world. It's really unnerving to me. So I try to kind of collect it and gather it. And there's moments when I get really mad at a band or a person who abuses those punk rock courtesy rights. But I think, if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just reposting the images that someone posted, and I'm letting you know where they came from and who created them. And yes, it was Flipside Fancy. Yep, we created a lot of images and took lots of pictures and worked with a lot of people and a lot of bands. And it was such a great time. And now so many of the bands are touring and they want things, they want a copy of a album or an insert to of the interview for a new record, or they want the record that Flipside put out, or they want the video and they want me to give them everything without any compensation. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get mad because they're mean to me, saying that I owe them, when in fact we were just fanatics, fans, documenting the scene and helping the bands along the way, which they don't need us anymore, but they do in a sense, because instead of creating new things, new interviews, and creating a new thing like a lot of people are doing this day, which is great. I love that. I mean, I might not be involved in that, but I like to see new perspectives on the history of punk rock. And documenting it now. I don't really like the big promoters and the big festivals and all that. But some people dig it, so they can go. I'll stay home and go to a smaller show or not. But that's my little editorial for today, being that I know most of the people that created Flipside and endured it through the years and understand the history and the narrative. I just ask for common courtesy. If you're going to use anything from Flipside, you know, send me a message, or I'm here, I'm very accessible, and we can talk it out. It doesn't have to be about money. Most of the times it's just about common courtesy. Uh, but if you're going to do a big movie and a big film and you use Flipside stuff and don't contact someone from Flipside, that's just rotten down to the core. But anyway, that's what I have to deal with, and that's my reality, whether you like it or not. I'm still alive, so my stuff has not been all archived yet. I'll leave that to my kids. Thank you very much. Again, this was a Hudley editorial. Thank you.